So a little plagiarism because Tammy wrote this. So in naming our son Andrew Matthew Aharon Mordechai was a thoughtful decision. In choosing his names, we knew we wanted Andrew's name to have meaning and to honor others. Tammy and I started with a list of names and narrowed it down by crossing names we disagreed on off the list. She may have crossed more than I did. We agreed on a few names and then looked up some of the meanings behind these names. We ultimately chose Andrew as it means brave, strong, and courageous. We thought this was fitting enough as we wanted our son to emulate these words, but given our long journey to get here, Andrew was a strong baby. His middle name, Matthew, is named after my grandmother, Marilyn. Marilyn was a woman who, when I was a kid, was a very strong woman. She was my grandmother on my mother's side, my mother's mother. And I still remember things like learning how to play piano, basic things like Frere Jacques and things like that from my grandmother. Over the years, we had a really close bond, and I learned how strong she was of a person that I think when she was growing up, they weren't very wealthy, but made do, and over time, she was strong enough to raise two daughters and then have subsequently a large family. I think that most importantly, towards the end of her life, she had developed Parkinson's disease. And, that was a very tough thing for all of us to watch because it really advanced and we didn't have all the medications that we have today. And really, she was a very strong woman for hanging in there despite losing really all of her motor function. And just before she passed away, I had confided in her that I was ultimately going to get married and so on, and I think that really gave her some sense that she can pass on, knowing that the next generation would be safe and so on. So I'd like Matthew to have the love that she had for her family. As well as the strength and courage that she had, especially towards the end of her life.
So now I'm going to try to do this. And just like his English name, his Hebrew name, Aaron, also represents the strength and character that we'd like him to represent throughout his life. His Hebrew name, Mordechai... No, go.
You have to do it. I can't do it. It's your...
His Hebrew name Mordechai is in honor and memory of my grandfather Morty, who we called Puppy. My grandfather is a man who I would describe. As brave and strong. He always had a smile on his face, especially around his family. Morty had a huge heart and was caring and a gentle man. His family was his greatest joy, and my siblings, my parents, and my grandmother all felt his love. He was a great storyteller, and even though his stories were repetitive and we could have told them ourselves, he would captivate his audience. And when you'd meet him for the first time, he was so excited that there was somebody new to tell his stories to. His laughter was infectious, and he loved to make his grandchildren laugh. I could go on and on and on about my grandfather, and I look forward to telling Drew all about his namesake. We hope for Andrew to have similar characteristics of his namesakes, to be strong, honorable, caring, make people laugh, and love his family. Craig and I want Andrew to not only be strong in character, but in academics, extracurricular activities, and athletics. Maybe a little less like his father and more like his brother Ethan. We want Andrew to be strong in his beliefs and Jewish values. And given today's climate, we want him to be brave enough to stand up and speak out against the wrong in the world. Be courageous and proud to be Jewish. Oh, sorry. We also want to thank everyone for coming and supporting us and Andrew. We hope to continue to teach him about the importance of Jewish community in his life. We wanted to thank Rabbi Mendy and Dina for their support and guidance. and answering all of our questions and welcoming us into this community. It has meant so much to us.
And just one final thing, just to celebrate Tammy, because this is really Tammy that made this happen. A little bit of me. I just want to I think from Eishes Chayil, which we say on Shabbos, I just want to read a couple passages. A good wife who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband trusts in her, and he never lacks gain. She brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and kindly counsel is on her tongue. She looks after her household. She never eats the bread of idleness. Her children rise and bless her, and her husband praises her, saying, "Many women do worthily, but you excel them all." Charm is deceptive and beauty is vain. Only a God-fearing woman shall be praised. Given her due credit for her achievement, let her own works praise her at the gates. I love you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.